Now, you may be hanging on to a little bit of guilt, a little bit of shame because you've had to walk away from narcissistic family, narcissistic spouses, narcissistic friends, mean, cruel, abusive people that you shouldn't be with anyways. Yet, you're walking away taking with you these ideas of, did you try hard enough? Did you give enough? What if you just tried a different way, right? This is that shame. This is that guilt. And what this shame and what this guilt you're hanging on to really says is that you subconsciously believe that their needs are more important than yours. How in the world did this even happen? Let's explore this together and break it down. My name is Kevin, and this is The Royal We. Now, if this is you, understand that you're not alone. A lot of people have fallen into this trap. There's two components I want to talk to you about. There is a cultural and social conditioning aspect, and that's what we're going to talk about first. Now, from early ages, many of you were brought up in abusive homes with a yelling, screaming, arrogant, loud father, or an alcoholic, yelling, screaming, neglectful mother. And the attitude surrounding that home was, well, don't worry about it. Sweep it under the rug. This is just how it is. And as a result, you learn to give, you learn to serve, and you learn to never have your own needs met or appreciated because it's all about the loud, screaming, arrogant, abusive people. Their needs matter the most. Don't bother them. Let them say what they need to say. Don't get in their way. All of this is social conditioning. So it starts there. It started in the home for many of you. And then it goes into public schools, and that's no better. The social conditioning in the public schools, when you dealt with bullies, and every school had its bully, and the attitude was, well, listen, have compassion because maybe they have rougher backgrounds than you. You don't know what it's like to walk in their shoes, which translates into, let them be mean. Let's work with them. Let's try to calm them down. Let's cater to them. Let's serve them, which again translates into their needs are more important than yours. So you can already see the conditioning of how you start to believe early on that the needs of angry, abusive, narcissistic, psychopathic people have become more important than your needs. If you're to feel uncomfortable, so be it. You can be uncomfortable at the expense of an abusive person because it's possible that their upbringing has led them to be this way. So be compassionate. We now know that this is nonsense. It's bogus. Even the DSM-5, which is the American Statistical Manual of Personality, Psychological Disorders, whatever. When it talks about narcissism, it says we don't know where it comes from. It may be due to environmental factors. It may be. It may be genetics. It may be neurobiological, but we don't really know. We can't nail it down. We can't be certain, and that's for obvious reasons. Why? Well, because there's plenty of good people who've come out of the most horrible of backgrounds. Some of the most loving, kind, genuine people in this world come from the worst. The worst of upbringings. Meanwhile, some people who were completely spoiled and had everything in their upbringing ended up being people you just don't even want to associate with. So there's no way to pin it on environmental factors, so we can never again say abusive personalities are a result of somehow having a worse upbringing than anybody else. But now, what has this done for bullies? What has it done for narcissistic people? Number one, it's enabled them throughout life. So they grew more entitled. They grew more enabled. They grew into this attitude of, that's right, it's okay to be bullying. It's okay to be aggressive because my needs matter most. They've also been able to take within a victim role. Yeah, that's right. Not only do I get to be mean and abusive and narcissistic, but I have a reason. And that reason is, well, my upbringing was worse than yours, so we're just going to leave it there. It may not be true. Doesn't matter. This is what works. This is how we've established it in our little culture. And now, narcissistically abusive people have been hanging that over your head, over my head, over everybody's head. Anybody who questions their abusive attitudes, anybody who tries to get in their face and say, knock it off, Stop stealing. Stop being mean. Stop yelling. Stop cursing. Stop this. The response back is, how dare you? You're no better than me. You don't know anything about me. Who are you to judge me? You've never walked in my shoes. On and on, that nonsense, right? Not only is it social conditioning, but the church has been no help in this either. Let's just face it. I was brought up in non-denominational Christianity, and I discovered that the message of Christianity has promoted the same thing as society and culture. The idea is that if you have the love of Jesus and you come across a mean, hostile, aggressive, bullying person in your marriage, in your friendships, in your family, then you're responsible, being the one who has a relationship with Jesus, you're responsible to love them. In fact, you might be the only love that they see. Once again, serving evil with love. Serving the abusive people with love. And you're guilty and you're ashamed if you don't. Now, we know by now that's a bogus message. That's a false message out of a twisted version of the Bible that's not reality. Nowhere did Jesus say, love and continue to give and serve and live with and hang out with the mean, cruel, abusive people who were trying to hurt you. That's not the message. The message is actually get away from those people and find your family, your chosen family, the disciples. And that is who you are to be close with. Right? It was never about having enough love to change a mean, cruel person. If anything, the story of Jesus tells us this, that no matter how loving and how kind and how giving you are, there will still be those who want to kill you. There will still be those who will try to kill you and may kill you. That's the story of Jesus. He showed us as an example that love isn't enough to change people's personalities. Giving is not enough to change people's personalities. Honesty is not enough to change abusive personalities. People's abusive personalities. You and I need to get this and understand this, what we're up against. You see, we're not up against something that we can just say it's environmental. We're not up against something and say, well, they just don't know Jesus. That's not what narcissism is about in this world. It's about understanding that evil exists. It is what it is, even if that means you need to admit and acknowledge, which you may not want to, that your own father is evil. That your marriage is not what you thought it was. That your own family, your own children, and this is harsh and this is not, and you don't want to hear this, I get it, but it's the truth. Listen, 2 sons were born of a mother and a father, Cain and Abel. One was a murderer, one was good. What do you do with a story like that? Except learn something from it. That's the harsh reality of this world. It's not environmental. It's not because they don't know Jesus or God. Cain in the story had a conversation with God right before he killed his brother. So when are you and I going to awaken to the fact that there is nothing we can say, there is no introduction that we can give about Jesus that's going to stop a narcissistic bully from doing what they do? You won't. And we need to stop watching the movies that suggest that we can do that. We don't have that power. Nobody does. That's the lie. Movies have been a big part of that too. There's a chance you can save that mean person. Wrong. Wrong. You're following Hollywood, not the true world that we live in. Listen, I want to do something for you right now. I want to give a free session, one-on-one appointment to a new subscriber because I know somebody needs to talk right now, and it has to be a new subscriber, by the way. No cheating, no unsubscribing and then subscribing back, okay? I'll catch you on that. But if you're a new subscriber and you'd like to have a one-on-one hour-long session with me, here's what you got to do. Subscribe, then go to my Instagram @JoinTheRoyalWe and direct message me. Say, hey, hello, Kevin. I just subscribed to your channel and I'd love the chance to talk. And I'm going to select one of you to talk with this week. All right? So go ahead and do that. In addition to that, I want to let you know that if anybody else would like an appointment, I do take one-on-one appointments. You can schedule through my calendar down below, And this Sunday, I'm teaching an online class to help you process narcissistic abuse, move on and heal your life, and never get wrapped up with these people again. Now, for those of you who want to know why you keep allowing abusive relationships in your life, watch this video right here. In this video, I go into detail about some of the reasons that you may be opening the door to abusive people in your life, what it is you're looking for, and why it's difficult to shut the door on these difficult, abusive, narcissistic relationships. Watch this video.